Hello again, everybody.
Hola.
أهلاً.
Allô.
Habari.
Bonjour.
Namaste.
Hallo.
The goal of this video is to show you in simple terms why Bitcoin's price has continued to progressively grow globally since its inception in 2009 and continues to do so. With this information, you'll hopefully be able to understand this new asset and why it just might change your life if you decide to invest in it.
Disclaimer. Information contained in this video is not official investment advice, rather, purely for educative and entertainment purposes only.
Now, in simple language, let's take a deep dive into Bitcoin and its price. Think of Bitcoin as a virtual store of value that exists only on the internet on top of blockchain technology. It's like being able to convert any value from an asset like cash into the digital ecosystem and into an invisible wallet that you can use to send and receive money directly to and from other people, globally, anywhere around the world. This happens without going through a middleman, a bank, or paying hefty fees. Each Bitcoin is a digital token, and all transactions with these tokens are recorded in a giant public ledger called the blockchain without any duplication. This ledger is maintained by a network of computers around the world, making it very secure and almost impossible to cheat. Also, instead of being controlled by one government or company, it's spread out across thousands of computers around the world. This is known as decentralization. This means no single person or group has complete control over Bitcoin, making it a unique way to think about what makes something valuable in this digital age. Any validated transaction on the Bitcoin network is the same across the globe without any duplication, and any attempt to tamper with the proper functionality will be seen and corrected immediately. Inflation affects money in the bank. Every year, it's like you lose 2% of it. It might not look like much at first, but if you keep your money there for many years, like during your whole work life, you end up losing a big amount in value. The numbers in your account are the same, but they can buy you less amounts of goods and services. This loss in value is caused by many factors, but the obvious main one is excess paper money printing. And so this money, over time, this piece of paper then loses value. We've practically been seeing this happen for a long time because you just cannot print more wealth. Unlike regular money, which is printed by governments, there's a limit to how many bitcoins can ever exist, 21 million to be exact. This scarcity is part of what gives Bitcoin its main value. People buy and sell bitcoins on special websites called exchanges such as Binance or Coinbase, and the price can go upwards or downwards based on supply and demand, just like stocks or gold. Bitcoin can further be understood by comparing it to traditional properties of money. Let's go through them. Durability. Traditional money must withstand physical wear and tear. Bitcoin is digital and doesn't degrade over time, making it highly durable in a digital sense. It exists on the blockchain, ensuring its longevity as long as the network is maintained. By the current look of things, blockchain and the internet are part of our lives and are never going away. Portability. Money needs to be easily carried and transferred. Bitcoin excels here because it's digital. You can carry billions in Bitcoin across the world as easily as a few dollars, using just your smartphone or computer. Divisibility. Good money can be broken down into smaller units. Bitcoin is highly divisible, with up to 100 million smaller units called satoshis, pound stars on one of a Bitcoin, allowing for microtransactions not easily manageable with traditional currencies. This high divisibility will allow the billions of people on Earth to be able to hold even a small piece of this valuable asset. Uniformity. Each unit of money must be the same as the next. Bitcoin is Bitcoin, and every unit is identical and interchangeable. This is also known as fungibility. Limited supply or scarcity. Traditional money like gold has value because it's scarce. Bitcoin mimics this store of value with a capped supply of 21 million coins, ensuring scarcity. This is in contrast to fiat currencies, which central banks can print unlimited amounts of, potentially leading to inflation. Acceptability. For any form of money to be useful, it must be widely accepted as a medium of exchange. Bitcoin's acceptance is growing globally and even has 2 countries to date officially declared it as legal tender: El Salvador and the Central African Republic. Bitcoin's use is increasing in online transactions, international remittances, and among merchants willing to accept it, contributing to its legitimacy as a form of money. We saved the best for last. Bitcoin is decentralized. Unlike traditional money, which is governed by central banks, Bitcoin operates on a decentralized network of computers all over the world and in different countries globally. This means no single entity controls Bitcoin, making it resistant to censorship and providing a level of financial freedom not possible with traditional money. Decentralization ensures that transactions are transparent, secure, and immutable, thanks to the distributed ledger technology, the blockchain, which records all transactions publicly and chronologically. This decentralization is a fundamental aspect of Bitcoin, emphasizing its role not just as digital money, but as a revolutionary approach to managing and transferring value without centralized authority. Bitcoin also has the very important aspect of being near money. This means it's very easy to move it or sell it and convert it to cash all over the world, except a few countries where it's still banned. Bitcoin only appears to be banned in some countries because it directly competes with the traditional monetary system. By comparing Bitcoin to these traditional properties, we can see that it shares many characteristics with conventional money while offering unique advantages and addresses most of the limitations of traditional currencies. And now, Bitcoin's connection to the gold standard, which was once the globally accepted standard for currency store of value. The gold standard was a monetary system where any currency's value was directly linked to an equivalent amount of gold. This direct conversion allowed a direct evaluation of paper money value into a fixed amount of gold. This system was mostly abandoned in the 1930s as countries shifted to fiat currencies, which are backed by government decree rather than gold, a physical valuable commodity. It all started a time between 1968 and 1974, when President Nixon decided the U.S. wouldn't use gold to back up its money anymore. Since 1935, the law said the country had to have gold in reserve for its money, but President Nixon stopped that. This was because the U.S. was buying more from other countries than it sold to them, which was a problem, and having to keep gold for money made it hard for the government to spend on what it needed. By getting rid of the gold requirement, this allowed the USA, and eventually other countries, to spend more money than they had value for by simply printing cash. This is why the value of paper money in most countries has declined over time, simply because there is more paper than actual value stored in that paper. Bitcoin, in a modern context, represents an attempt to return to some principles of the gold standard, such as limited supply and the removal of central authority control over the money supply. However, since Bitcoin exists in digital form, instead of relying on physical commodities like gold, Bitcoin uses cryptographic security and a decentralized network to establish trust and value. This new kind of gold is valuable because it uses special computer codes, cryptography, to make sure it's secure and cannot be copied or tampered with. While Bitcoin shares almost all fundamental aspects with the gold standard, such as a controlled supply to prevent inflation, it operates in a vastly different technological and economic landscape. Connecting Bitcoin to the gold standard involves exploring their similarities and differences, particularly focusing on their roles as stores of value and their use in financial systems. Bitcoin and gold. The differences. 1. Tangibility. Gold is a physical asset, which can be a benefit or a drawback. It's tangible and historically recognized as valuable, but requires physical storage and security. Bitcoin is entirely digital, making it easily transferable and divisible, however, reliant on technology and electricity. Adoption and stability. Gold has been used as a form of currency and store of value for thousands of years, contributing to its stability and acceptance. Bitcoin, by contrast, is relatively new, introduced in 2009. However, it has also been the best performing asset over the last 10 years. On average, Bitcoin's value has gone up by 671% each year. In 2013, it jumped the most, increasing from $13 to $1,100, a huge growth of more than 5,000%. 3. Utility. Beyond being a store of value, gold has practical applications in electronics, jewelry, and dentistry, contributing to its intrinsic value. Bitcoin's value is largely derived from its properties as a currency and a financial asset rather than physical utility. Here's some examples of Bitcoin in the real world. Bitcoin's effectiveness in the real world during periods of economic uncertainty or inflation has been quite remarkable. Some investors have turned to Bitcoin as a hedge against currency devaluation. Firstly, during the COVID-19 pandemic, as governments around the world implemented large-scale monetary stimulus measures, Bitcoin's price surged, with many viewing it as a digital haven against inflation. Secondly, for individuals and countries experiencing hyperinflation or currency instability, Bitcoin can offer a more stable store of value than their local currency, protecting their savings from significant devaluation. Thirdly, Bitcoin as a medium of exchange. It allows for peer-to-peer transactions without the need for intermediaries like banks or payment processors, facilitated by the blockchain. Fourth, Bitcoin offers faster, globally acceptable, and potentially cheaper transactions, especially for international transfers. Number 5. This makes transfers more direct and efficient, benefiting people who regularly send money abroad, such as expatriates or migrant workers. In summary, Bitcoin's value proposition coupled with increasing demand, and yet a decrease in supply will almost certainly keep its value and inevitably price going up. How far high in price? Well, it's not certain, but $62,000 US dollars, as of this writing, is a good starting point. Hopefully, we have made Bitcoin and its value proposal very simple and easy for you to understand. Please do share, like, and subscribe to our channel. It'll take us a long way towards serving you better. Thank you. We wish you well. See you in the next video.